Travel from Africa to Australia, beginning in Egypt, a land of ancient wonders. At its heart is the Nile River. Many visitors see the country mostly from the water. But there are many ways to travel here, and while the cruise boats beckon, you can choose to travel Egypt as the Egyptians do, by train. The starting point for your journey, Cairo, the capital. It's the largest city in Africa. Most Egyptians are Muslim. Cairo is filled with mosques. The call to prayer echoes through the city 5 times a day. The old section of Cairo is crowded, dusty, and fascinating. There are streets where the only thing for sale is garlic, and streets where you can buy a little bit of everything. Only a few of Cairo's oldest houses are still standing. This latticed balcony once hid the women of the house as they gazed out at the local scene. From a more modern balcony, a startling sight rises up. The Great Pyramids of Giza, 4,000-year-old royal tombs, right at the edge of the modern city. Just beyond the pyramids lies the desert, and in shifting sand, burial of the dead is impermanent. A tomb is more lasting. Egypt's great pharaohs took tomb building to astonishing heights. In the past, the pyramids were clad in smooth limestone casing, but most of that surface has disappeared. The largest of the pyramids contains more than 2 million blocks of stone, a staircase to the sky. Nearby, the Sphinx, the enigmatic mascot of this extraordinary civilization. Back in central Cairo, Ramesses train station could be mistaken for a mosque. In fact, once a week, it becomes a mosque, temporarily. Each Friday, an enormous green carpet is rolled out, so that travelers can pray. This is the holiest day of the week, and not even a train journey can come between a devout Muslim and the duty to bow before Allah, having first removed one's shoes. Muslim women offer their prayers at home or at mosques, in separate halls. Travelers go to a different station, Cairo's Central Station, to catch trains to Luxor and the magnificent temple at Karnak. It's a night train, popular with foreign tourists. The ticket includes dinner and breakfast. Local travelers pay only half what foreigners are charged, but this train is still too expensive for most Egyptians. The bar car stays open late into the night. By morning, you're in Upper Egypt. "10 hours from Cairo, the city of Luxor and the nearby temples of Karnak and Edfu. No mere mortal could venture inside the temples, only priests and the pharaoh himself. But today, anyone can wander these labyrinths of stone covered in bas-relief. The carvings and sculptures were intended to entice the gods to inhabit this place of worship, and protect mankind. A double row of ram-headed sphinxes guards the entrance to Karnak's great temple of Amun. Amun was held to be one of the gods of creation. Inside, a series of chambers, each smaller than the one before, leads back to a tiny inner sanctum. Roughly in the center, the hypostyle chamber, with 134 massive columns. Crowning the columns, huge capitals, some so enormous that 100 people could stand on top. Egypt's ancient religion was populated by dozens of gods and goddesses. The falcon represents the god Horus. His eyes symbolize the sun and moon. At the heart of Egyptian temples lies the smallest chamber, the inner sanctum, often called the Noah. Here, with each new day, the priests offered food, flowers, and incense for the gods. Pharaoh, the supreme ruler, was believed to have been enthroned by the gods themselves. He bore the responsibility for maintaining harmony on earth. Not far from Karnak, colorful paintings represent the bond between the Egyptians, their gods, and the land. The Egyptians were talented farmers who knew how to reap the bounty of the Nile Valley. The pigments have not faded, and neither has the talent for agriculture, as Luxor's modern-day markets prove. The journey continues on a train heading towards Aswan, about 4 hours south of Luxor. From there, many travelers continue on to the monuments at Abu Simbel. This is the train the locals use. If you travel third class, you can expect bargain prices. Just don't expect to find a non-smoking carriage. Aswan is built along one of the 5 rocky cataracts that partially obstruct the Nile between here and its source. Abu Simbel lies about 4 hours from here. Traditional sailboats, called feluccas, used to carry merchandise up and down the Nile. These days, they are more likely to carry tourists. Aswan is a charming place to relax and enjoy the mixture of Egypt's natural beauty and a touch of European elegance as the sun goes down. Dawn. A perfect time to experience Abu Simbel, where the pharaoh Ramesses II had himself portrayed, 4 times over. Each statue is the height of a 5-story building, each face more than 4 meters wide. When the Aswan Dam was built, an international rescue effort was mounted to save this wonder of the world from the rising waters. The statues were moved, stone by stone. It took 9 years. These statues were intended to dazzle and frighten Egypt's Nubian enemies with the might of Pharaoh. Today, they have lost none of their overwhelming power.